Good evening, YouTube. This is Kaylin String coming at you with my regular Sunday night dinner. And if things would have been a little different for our buddy Old Smokey, I probably would have changed my stream because last night his power was out, so obviously he couldn't go online. And then today he hit up a local McDonald's that still had power, so he was able to use their Wi-Fi to put up a post. He still has power out at home, so obviously he's not going live, so I'm at my normal time. Otherwise, I probably would have either gone before or after him. But anyway, hopefully Smokey gets his power back soon, and his family can get back to their lives. But anyway, this is a Polish shooter's ration by Arpol, which is the company that does the military rations. This was supposed to be the off-road ration that Arpol does, but the seller sent me this one instead, and I still have not heard anything from the seller. So I don't know if he is going to send me a replacement. No message saying I'll refund your money or anything like that. But this one is menu 2, and it is beef goulash. I want to learn more Polski so I can get better at this, but I figured out some of these things that's on here. But anyway, the seller did send me one item that I had been wanting to try, but I had not, but I've seen Traversing Food. He's had it a couple of times in RCIRs that he has done, but this is the red Fruit Commando Bar. He sent a chocolate bar, a French main that has pork in it, but that is going to go to someone else. And then the French Fruit Nougat Bar. I've already snacked on those 2 bars. But I saved this one because I want to open this up when I review this ration, even though it's French and not Polish. Let's see who is here. Got Pete and Aletha and Sean. And so far that's it. But anyway, these are a nice stiff bag. And this one has 2 seals on the top. No tear notch, so I'm just going to chew with my scissors, just so I have a nice clean cut. And I will be using the bag as my trash bag. So I got water on the stove to boil because I'm going to save the ration heater. So I'll start pulling things out. This is, it's a can with a lid so that if this were to not be eaten all at once, after you take this off, you could put this lid on it to reseal it. And this says English goulash. But that's a small main, so I think this is like an English style meat product. Here is a little accessory bag in a little Ziploc, and I'll get to that in a minute. Anyway, I'll just put the lid back on that. Got some harder matches, so these are a stiffer match than what is in your typical matchbook. They're not wood like in the German rations. They're more like a fiberboard type of thing, or a thicker cardboard. so they would stand up to a little bit more abuse. So that's some pretty interesting matches. And here is a water bag with the string already on it. So this is a 1 liter line, and you can use this bag to purify water. It's not gusseted, but you could hang this or suspend it from somewhere to collect water. And then you can drop your water purification tablet in it. So that's something I did not see in the previous version of this ration. So I reviewed one of these like 3 years ago. And then this is a bag of water, but this is for the flameless ration heater. And this has in English, I'll put my hand underneath it, but this has bleach in it. So apparently the chlorine in here helps to activate the element in this ration heater. And it's a pretty thicker pad. So again, I am going to save this ration heater because, I figure I'm at home. I don't need to use these, but in the event that I do, I have these, or I can take these on a trip, or they can be for emergency purposes. And this one includes a toothbrush. And this is a chocolate cake. This is Orifo brand. I've never seen Orifo in Polish. It says chocolate cake. So Orifo provides components for various countries' rations. I thought when I saw chocolate it was going to be a bar, but no, it's a chocolate cake. And here is so this is a drink powder. It looks like it might say chocolate. Oh, let's see. See who else is in here. James Ortiz, Spicy Tuna Rolls, and Mike is here. Special biscuits, the tank treads, somewhat like hardtack, caraway seeds. I like these. Some don't. And here is a cutlery set. And the bag is already opened, so this is a poor sealing job of the bag, so I'll just get rid of that. But you get a napkin, a baby spoon, a full-size spoon, a fork, and a knife, which is in a similar shape to what you might see in Russian rations. And these are very thin. Actually, this baby spoon might be the strongest of all of these. Actually, this might be the drink powder, this one here, because this seems like citrus. So this other one might be the hot drink powder. And then here's a straw, just in a paper, and it's one of the flexible straws. I can feel the ribs. Of course, I will not be using that. Of course, I will not be using the matches. I'll save the toothbrush. Another one of these. And then the last item in here is the mane itself, which is in this cardboard sleeve, which is very nice. I'm glad that they have done this because these thin cans have a tendency to get dinged up if they're not protected. And I'm glad to see that Russian rations have done this to some of them, and I wish they would do it to more of them. So this is the goulash that will be put in the water. And of course also, if you're out in the field and you needed some tinder, you could use this for tinder. There is Robert in the house. There's puppy breath in the house. Let's see, I'm going to scroll back a little bit more. Oh, just making sure I'm caught up. The last time I did one of these, it might have been like a meatball one or a chicken one. But anyway, I will be using my foreign MRE spork anyway. So then I will not be using the FRH or this bag. And I actually saved these water packets because, you know, this is chlorine. So I don't know if it's the same chlorine that could be used to purify water, but you know, it could be used as a disinfectant because of the chlorine that's in here. So that's another reason to hold on to these. So no chocolate bar in here, so it's a chocolate cake. I've always wanted to try one of these Orifol cakes. I've never had one, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. Now let's open up this little goodie bag. Here is a water purification tablet. So if I had to use that water bag to purify some water, I fill it with water up to the liter line, drop this tablet in, wait the required amount of time. Say if it was half hour or an hour, depending on which brand of tablet, then I would have drinkable water. So again, that gets saved. And got 3 of these Be Fresh wipes. Always good to have extras of these on hand. And not only do you get a napkin in with the cutlery set, you get some, this feels like toilet paper, like a narrow toilet paper. And this is probably comparable to what you would get in a USMRE rear roll, but this feels a bit like it might be of a higher quality, but I'm just going to leave it as is. In fact, I will probably just keep it in this bag. So that I can keep it clean. So again, I will save this packet of tissues. There is this and that in the house. And here is a little trash bag. Just a thin little bag. So if you did not, or you could use this to hold items that you did not consume when you started this ration. So I've got 2 packs of sugar. These are 10-gram packets. I see Rachel in the house, Sunshine Side of Life 77. Here is coffee. So it's an instant coffee. They don't provide creamer or, you do get salt and pepper. You get 2 of these vitamin C candies, and these appear to be the same flavor. And then you get this coffee candy, which is a coffee candy. I love these things. You cannot find them online. I have tried. And then you get a stick of gum that looks like it came out of a pack. So no real branding on it. Not that I could tell. Just some sort of a design on the wrapper. So anyway, actually this might be a soup. So this might be the cold drink. This one might be a soup. Come to think about it. So let's start gonna nope, it's cocoa. I was right about, so this is cocoa. I'll go ahead and pour that into here. It looks a little darker than an American cocoa. So since I've never had this, I could go ahead and do a mocha with this, but I want to taste the coffee separate. So what I'm going to need to do is swap this out. Actually, I'll cut this open first and smell it. That actually does smell like a tea. So I'll go ahead and pour this into my drinking jar. Get a better look at that. It kind of has a slight herbal lemon scent. So anyway, I am going to need another, I'll get another mug for the coffee because I do want to try this coffee on its own. And while I'm doing that, I will go ahead and put this into the water to boil, and I'll be right back. Yeah, I went and got Will's mug that I won from him. So I'll go ahead and put the coffee in here. This one does have a tear notch, so. So it's a spray-dried coffee, so it's fine. But it definitely smells like an instant coffee. So, in honor of Will, who we lost not all that long ago, I'm going to drink out of his mug. So, I put the hot water in here. His channel logo will show up on this side instead of this side. But first I'll give this a stir just to make sure that it has plenty of time to dissolve, although it's not the larger pebbles that these drinks used to be in, or sometimes still are in some other Polish rations. So anyway, I am going to come back with the hot water, and we'll get these mixed up. Okay, I am back with the hot water. So that's the cocoa. And because I like my coffee blonde and sweet, I went and got me a packet of sweetened condensed milk. Could have made the hole a little bigger, but oh well. Actually, I'll take you off here so I can see how that works. That's like Old Smoky's Bob Ross mug. I just took the kettle back into the kitchen just to get it out of the way. I will give these a stir again, or at least the cocoa will get a stir again, because it's going to need it. I'm just collecting all my trash. Go ahead and put the candies on this lid. Get rid of the cardboard thing, and we'll open this up. Yep, just as I thought it would be. It's like a luncheon meat type of a thing in juices, and this is just fat here. Just kind of scrape that to the side. Yeah, that definitely tastes like pure fat. Chop. I'll use the scissors to open up this cake. And I'll put that right there. A little crumbly. But it comes with this paper on it. And it looks like it's baked this way. Actually, tasting these crumbs, it tastes kind of like a dark chocolate cake, so it's not all that sweet. And speaking of chocolate, I'm going to give the cocoa another stir. I shall bring it more into frame. Oh, that's a coffee. Oh well, it got an extra stir. Let's see. Booger Butt is here. I'm going through the chat because I hadn't looked at it in a while, so I apologize for that. So I'm opening up the little red Fruit Commando Bar. So rouge could be red or pink. And this kind of got busted up a little bit. But the bar itself is not red or pink. It basically means it has fruit in it that is red. So I'll bring a piece up so you can get a look at it. So Traversing Food, he really likes this particular Commando Bar. I'm going to go ahead and open up one pair of these. I just put the scissors away because I am done with those. But these look extra toasted on top. Maybe not so much on the bottom, but on the top they look a little bit darker than what I've seen in the past. And I'm going to go ahead and give this coffee a try. It's a typical instant coffee. It's actually not bad. Some would probably take their tank tread and dunk it in there, or dunk it in the cocoa. This tastes closer to like a French cocoa than an American one, or the kind that you might find in a British ORP. So it's a little less sweet. It's kind of close to a dark chocolate. But I am going to go ahead and get the main because it should be done. I'm just going to move these over here to the right. Then I'll be right back. I am back. I got the main, and I just used this thing to bring it in, and the label started to just kind of boil off. Out of the way. There's a trick to these things for opening them, and I've seen others do it. You actually bend this up just a little bit. Especially if they've been bent down during a transit. It's supposed to make it a little bit easier for this to peel back. This stuff is going to be very saucy. And I kind of like to go back and forth real slow with these things because this one is really things like this are really saucy, so I'd rather be careful. Just shove that whole mess into there. And this is how Arpol interprets goulash. I think I'm just going to leave it in here instead of dumping it out, because it is so saucy and soupy. It's not the goulash that we might be used to, say like pasta. I don't even see any rice in here. The beef is like a pulled beef. Art and Nina, 4nmre.com, dropping in the super chat. There's the Carlos in the house. See, I missed the... Yep, Art and Nina saying hello. Super chat is much appreciated. For those that have never seen that before, who may be new to this, a super chat allows a viewer to kick in a little coin to help support the channel. Of course, that only works on monetized channels that have enabled or turned their super chat on. Got the beef in here. See, that is a chunk of the beef right there. It's like a pulled beef, so it's not ground. And the sauce tastes closer to what a goulash would be. It doesn't taste like a pasta sauce or spaghetti sauce. There's other vegetables in here, like there's tomato. And you get real bits of tomato. That is probably either a carrot or a potato. Oh, that was carrot. Those tomatoes, there's carrots. And I see something green. That might be a pea. I didn't get a pea flavor. That could have been a piece of an herb. Now this is really good, but there is Judith in the house, a name I had not seen before in here. Thanks for dropping in. What I'm going to do, because these things are so hard, I'm going to shove a few pieces of the cracker in. We'll just stick those in there to start, and what that will do, these will soften that up, because otherwise, for those that may have a lot of dental issues they might not be able to bite these as is. But that is really, really good. I'm going to take a taste of this tea. Almost tastes like a mint tea. Very slight. I'm not getting much of a citrus flavor off of that tea. But it's really good. And I pulled up a little bit of this. My lens might not want to focus on this too well. But that kind of tastes like, it's very salty. But it kind of tastes like if you've ever maybe crossed Spam up with maybe a Vienna sausage. Now, this does not taste like pork Spam. But you would not be able to dip a cracker in this. I think this will... I mean, it does not give you that stringy texture when you chew it like the beef in here does. But it's not as fine as a pate. Ooh, I love crab. Haven't had crab in a while. A little crooked, there we go. But if for some reason I do not eat all this and I want to preserve it and put it in my fridge, I got the lid. Right now it's just holding my 2 pieces of candy. Well, I got 3, but this one is the same as this one. I'll just leave it there. What the heck? But there is no jam, no jelly, no honey with this one. So I'm dipping this in, just a short dip. So once you bite into it, it's actually not as hard on the inside. It's just getting through the outside layer of this that can be a problem. But these actually taste like, you know, they've been toasted a little bit longer on the top than other ones I've had in the past. Of course, it's been a while since I've had some of these. But I'm just going to drop that chunk right in there. And I'm going to go for this piece that's been in there a while. That does soften it up. So anyone eating this in the field would probably be doing that, putting their if they don't have anything to spread it on, or if they choose not to dip it in their coffee or cocoa, they would probably bust it up and put it into the main. In fact, the other pack, I will hold on to these, and I'll probably just like drop them in a soup or something. But this goulash is actually really good. I'm really enjoying this. There are some goulashes out there that will put, there'll be rice in there. There's another piece of the cracker. Thanks for dropping in this and that. Hope to see you again soon. Yeah, back to the crab. Last time I had crab was on Mother's Day. We had crab in a seafood boil that my oldest sister bought, and I was with her when she went to pick it up. And, I helped her carry the stuff in because there's a good amount of food that we got with our order. But there was Alaskan king crab. In there, and those legs are big, and they were delicious. I'm going to pop a few more pieces in here. This also soaks up some of the sauce. But some of the pieces of meat in here are pretty good. But that seafood boil was really, really good. I talked about before how they did that with, they put all the ingredients for each order into a bag, like a boiling bag or an oven safe bag. And then seal the bag, or at least it's, I don't know if they partially seal it or what. They boil the contents in the bag and then either seal it if it's not already sealed after they let steam escape, or somehow it's one of those bags that can be boiled in without having to vent it. And then that's how each customer got their order. Because if you're knocking a whole bunch of these out with custom orders, a restaurant can't have enough pots unless they have a huge kitchen. So by using the boiling bag system, they can keep using pots over and over again and just have to add fresh water. Hash Info. Oh, sorry, my full mouth shakes. It's a name I not seen in here before. Welcome. This is, I'm going to call this a 2019 because the best before date is 22. This is a Polish shooter's ration. It's like a civilian ration made with some of the same military ration components done by the company that does all the rations for the Polish military. This was supposed to be the off-road ration, which is a slightly different one, but the seller sent me the wrong one. And I had sent proof with pictures of what the listing showed and what I actually got. But this goulash, it's really good. Whoever came up with this particular recipe is right on with it. I do not need to add any additional seasonings. Only thing I added was I busted up these special biscuits and put some of the pieces in there. A lot of people do not like these things. I'll show you the other packet. Either they don't like the caraway flavor, which I love the caraway flavor. So it's actual caraway seed. You can see that little long thing. That is the caraway seed that's in there. So some people either don't like it, or they don't like the texture, or they don't like the fact that it's almost as hard as a true hardtack. Now the carrots in here are fairly soft, but what to expect for something that's been in this foil can for about a year and a half. But 400 grams, that's a nice, healthy portion. The beef is not dry. And there can be some pretty big chunks. It's real pieces of tomato in here. And they taste like a stewed tomato. So there is a piece of the carrot right there. They're still holding their shape. They're just soft. But you can still taste the flavor. And then whatever seasonings they put in here. Yeah, they got this one right. Now this is a chocolate cake. That's the corner that broke off. The cake is dry. And it is quite crumbly, as you can see when I pick it up. So this is what the top looks like. And it's a good cake. But even though it was in that pouch, it's still a bit dry, but it's still good. Now this cocoa mix, like I said earlier, it's about the same flavor type as French cocos. They're not as sweet as the American ones. And this coffee, although I added a packet of sweetened condensed milk to it, it's a decent instant coffee. So it's a bit of a bolder flavor. It's not weak. And I probably put, I don't know, I probably got right about the right amount of water in there. But it's a decent coffee. I just keep going back for that. But this tea, it's kind of like a light, sort of a mint tea. I don't really get any fruit. But now I'm going to taste this Commando Bar, this red fruit. It's kind of like a berry blend. I get a bit of strawberry, maybe a bit of raspberry. I don't know if there's currant in here, but it's a bit shiny. You know, it's a little crumbly. It's got the crispies in it like all the other Commando bars do. Shadow Scout Swede is here. And it is Monday there. Over on his side of the pond. So, good morning. Ooh. You're making me want to go fishing. But I can't buy my fishing license yet. I have to wait till next year. But I have the Go Outdoors app on my phone. And I can actually use it or go through it to buy my license. And if I wanted a hunting license, I could buy a hunting license on it. If I wanted like a combo license, I could buy a combo license on there. If I wanted a trout stamp on my fishing license, I could pay the extra fee for the trout. Although I've never been fishing for trout, and I don't really go to areas where I would find trout. So don't bother with that. Where I go, there's either catfish, bass, crappie, bluegill, or sunfish, or brim, or perch. And there's bullheads in the same lake, Lake Icaria. There's carp in there. So there's a variety of fish in that lake. So I think there's even walleye in there, but I'm not sure. But when the year turns, I'm gonna and I get my actually I should get my money for January probably like 2 or 3 days ahead, so I can go ahead and buy my license. I'll probably just go ahead and buy a 3-year license. That way I don't have to go through it, and it can automatically renew. So I'll probably change from a 1-year to a 3-year. That way I don't have to mess with it as often. Here is Prepping Life. Iowa brother from eastern part of the state. I'm going to try something. This luncheon meat on this piece of tank tread, Panzer waffle, body armor. Had the caraway, of course, he was on a pretty good sized piece of that cracker. The caraway really cuts through the flavor of this meat, even though this is pretty salty. But I just have to keep going back to this beef goulash. The pumpkin has found some place to sleep. So, and of course, Mila, the 18-year-old, is very jealous. But she always sleeps on my bed. Oh, I love venison. In fact, there are only 2 people in my family, or maybe 3. I think, my brother, I think he likes it. Well, he hunts down there at his place in Arkansas. But my mom and I are the only 2 of our family up here who like venison. Yeah, no doubt you miss her. I you know, if you were able to get her back, I'm sure she would be very happy to see you. But, if that can't happen, it can't happen. That's the way it is. But she loves to just jump on everything. She likes my bathtub for some reason. I don't know what it is about my bathtub, but she loves to just get into my bathtub. And I have to, when the weather's nicer, like it will be in a couple of days, I can only open my window so far because she will literally climb the screen. In fact, my bedroom window screen has been pulled out of the screen frame. So I will have to eat the cost of that repair. I'm just not going to bother with that now. But she has tried to climb up the slider. I have my slider open. She'll climb up the screen. So I cannot have it open very far. But she enjoys looking out the window. She'll go to the front door and listen. And some of her meows are like, meow. Like the pitch goes up in some of her meows. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, it's something weird how some cats can just have a thing for certain things. But Mila still is jealous. She'll still harass Pumpkin. So I have actually literally worked on my cat hiss impression. Yeah, it happens. It was probably a crappy job with that screen anyway when it was put in, because when these apartments were first built, or the last time there was any work done on the inside, it was a hack job at best because the cabinet doors do not match the openings, or they're hung too high or too low, or they're a little too wide, or the hinges were not, the hinge screws were not put in all the way. And my interior doors, like my storage closet door, my bedroom door, my bathroom door, there are only 2 hinges on the doors instead of 3, like there should be. And one of the burners on my stove doesn't work, and I don't trust the oven, so I will not bake anything in the oven. I just use it for storage. Oh, goulash is not your thing? Well, Robert, that's okay. More for me. Would this be more your style? Oh, I haven't had a Cornish hen in a coon's age. I think the last time I had one, I was with some other people in a restaurant that served them, and they're paying for my meal, so I ordered me a Cornish hen. It was tender, it was juicy, very nicely seasoned, came off the bone quite easily. A couple of times I have seen them at Hillel Groceries, but I never bought them there. And I probably wouldn't, at least until either I end up having to get a new stove put in here, or I move elsewhere and the stove is of a better quality. Although I could probably do it in my little roadside fine pressure cooker. I probably wouldn't actually pressure cook it. I wouldn't lock the lid down and put the weight down totally on the post that's on the lid. Oh, crawfish. Crawfish was in that seafood boil that we had on Mother's Day. And some of them were pretty good size. Some of them you could get a sizable chunk of meat out of the claws. Now the seasonings in that particular seafood boil, there's probably, in my opinion, not as good as another place here called Waterfront Seafood Market. But still, what these people did was very clever. They put whole boiled eggs into the bags. They put the potatoes and the cut corn cobs in the bags. And in some, you could have a cut sausage put in there. It would be like I don't know what kind of sausage it was, but it would be like one that you would have to cook, like a brat or a kielbasa or some other type of sausage like that. Well, so much for that. I just shoved that tin into the ration bag. Oh, I didn't like the goulash. I loved the goulash. It did not need any seasoning whatsoever, although I did put the Panzer waffles in there. I busted these up. So this had 2 packs. I'm going to save this pack, and I'll just probably munch on it with some soup or something else another day. Or I might save it for inclusion in another ration. But this is like a luncheon meat. It's too rough to be a pate. You can see that kind of a gelatin-like, like a congealed broth or something. It's the same that you would find with a Vienna sausage. And speaking of Vienna sausages, that's one thing I could not find in Walmart when I was shopping there earlier this week. At least not the chicken ones. They had the Libby's Vienna sausage. They had the Walmart brand, the Great Value Vienna sausage. And they had the Armour Vienna sausage. But they did not have the chicken Vienna sausage. I wanted to get a couple of cans of that because I was going through my meats, just going through my cans, and I noticed that one of my Vienna sausage cans had a dent in it, so I decided I'm going to go ahead and eat that one. So I ate those, and then I wanted to replace my Dobrova chicken spread that I had eaten because that can had a dent in it. So they did not have any of those. They had the tuna one, so I did not buy one of those that time. Next time I'm in there, I might get that. But it's basically, it's very finely processed with other ingredients added, so it's not like a true pate. I do have the Dobrova chicken pate, and I showed you that, so I got another one of those. But the tuna spread would be like a tuna salad, but it's more finely minced, if I'm assuming it's the same type as the chicken one is. But that will require some further investigation. But I'm also really liking this French red Fruit Commando Bar. Oh, Addison. That's a name I had not seen before. Didn't see you sneak in through the cat door. Mike Naismith? Is he any relation to the guy who invented the game of basketball? Oops, sorry, I gotta stop that from shaking. Yeah, the Walmart Great Value brand, their Vienna sausages, I was looking at the ingredients. It has chicken, beef, and pork all three of those meats in their Vienna sausage. So I'm assuming that might have a slightly different flavor than a pure pork Vienna sausage. But I've seen YouTube videos of someone cutting the Vienna sausage in half lengthwise and then frying it, and then adding that to some other ingredients for a recipe. I think it was one of the food challenge videos. I would have to look up who that was. I think it was in the White Family Farm food challenge, where you took items from your food storage to create a dish. And I think it was one of those where she cut up the Vienna sausage in half lengthwise and then fried it. And then added that to some other ingredients to make a dish. So Courtney would probably have the link to that particular video in a playlist. I think she put all those videos in a playlist. Because I did something in that one. I did a food storage version of a chicken biryani. And that's the second time I've done a biryani. The first time I'd done it was in Black Dog Bob's Ration cooking contest, where you take items from rations and maybe one or two items from your regular kitchen supply and create something. And because of my version of biryani I did for that, I got an honorable mention in that particular contest. And I think the judges were trying to duplicate it. I don't know if they could duplicate mine because of the ingredients that I added a couple of my own seasonings to it. But I have all the ingredients I need for my next entry. I was kind of hoping to do that this weekend, but I didn't get it done. I've been waiting on FedEx to deliver a package since the 6th, and they're still holding on to it here in Grimes. That's the facility that sends packages out to the individual residential or business customer. And they keep saying it's out on a vehicle for delivery, but then next thing I know, it's back at their sorting facility, and it gets delayed. And today it says for operational reasons, which could mean a wide variety of things. And so I called again today, said, what the heck is up? So what is it? What's in there? I said, well, it's either an over-the-counter medication, it could be a supplement, or it could be a first aid item that I got from Walmart. Because I did my quarterly order of items that I can get from my insurance company's allowance. I don't know if it's going to stay the same next year or if it'll still be $80 every 3 months that I could use to get qualifying products fulfilled by Walmart. And so I am missing one or two items. So they split it up into 3 different shipments, probably from 3 different locations. I got 2 of the boxes. And now this third one is being held up. So I called today and said, what are you going to do? Either send it back to Atlanta where it came from, or are you going to turn it over to the local police as if it's a prohibited item? And yes, I did ask if they were going to do that. But they can't tell me what the reason is, but the guy today said that he is actually going to escalate it and find out what the heck is going on. Why are they sitting on my package claiming that it's purely because of their overload? I'm dunking the chocolate cake into the cocoa. That does help with the dryness, but you wouldn't want to leave it in there too long, otherwise it's just going to fall apart. But it really doesn't add any more to the flavor, but it does help with the dryness. But you know, because this is so crumbly, it would just fall apart. So I'll probably just dip it that one time. Thanks for dropping in, Mike. And again, thanks for all the extra goodies. I'm still working on a trade with a person. Actually, it's Karsten over in Germany. But I went to find some Iowa products, but I'm also going to, and I have a few, I'm also going to include some Minotaur stuff. You know, I don't want to say too much in case he comes and watches this video later. But I found 3 Iowa products so far that customs over there should not have an issue with. I don't know what their policy is on meats coming in from other countries, if it would get confiscated or not. I have no idea how German customs would treat the things that I send. But I think what I'm going to do is, with some of the items that I included, I'm actually just going to put some in a bag, like I'm going to create a custom ration. In fact, I've done that twice. I created one for a gun dog, and I created one for Smokey. So I think I'm going to do that with Carson. I'm just going to put together some goodies and put it in a bag and call it a custom ration. But finding Iowa products, you know, I thought about sending some beef sticks that I found in a store, but I don't know what would happen if I had shipped those. They don't need to be refrigerated, but I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about that one, but I do want to put together some goodies for them. And then, of course, it's going to cost an arm and a leg to ship it, so I'm going to get the biggest flat rate box I can get to put all that stuff in. That's okay. I still owe her some more money for the pack. But of course, when we camped last month, we took my tarp plus another tarp that she had and strung them up around the fire area, behind the woodshed to block the wind, and it's still there. And she said we were packing up that she's coming back there because she's going to hunt there. So we left those tarps up, and so just leave it there, and she'll get it to me later, or next time we camp there. Hopefully it should still be there, because it definitely did help putting that one plus another tarp that she had up around because it was windy that weekend. It was the weekend of Veterans Day. It was so windy that we did not use the stove in the tax bell tent for the first 2 nights. We just used the heater. She has a small Mr. Heater thing that uses those 1-pound propane tanks, or you can put an adapter hose to hook up a larger one. I think I'm going to save the rest of this. I will finish off this cake and this bar, but I'm going to put this in my fridge, and I'll probably eat it tomorrow for lunch. So I will save the rest of that. But anyway, so the next time I see her, I'll just have some more money to give to her for that pack that I bought off, that Teton Sports 40-liter pack. I will buy a new pack cover for it, because the pack cover that was in it actually belongs to another pack, and she needed it for her trip, so I gave it to her, and I'll just buy another one for it. Actually, I have a blue pack cover that I keep in another pack, but it's still good to have an extra cover or 3. Oh, and speaking of tack, I didn't see if she put up a What the Food Friday video yesterday. I'll have to check that out. Well, Robert, it depends on, where you're going, what the weather could be like, what you're going to be doing. Are you going to be totally primitive, where you do not have an on-site bathroom to use? Like this area where we camped on, the friend's property, or are you at a campground that also has a primitive area where you would either have to pop a squat somewhere or drive to the closest bathroom. Or will you be totally glamping it like my family does in August? Because we use cabins. And of course, it also depends on whether you're going to use a tent or a hammock, or you're just going to string up a tarp and sleep under that. So I do have a hammock, and I have shown it in some of my previous camping videos. But next time I camp, I want to test out a tent that one of my sisters gave me a couple months ago. I was going to last month for the Veterans Memorial Camp, but because Tack was bringing her bell tent, she invited me to stay in it with her, plus she needed another person to help set it up, because to put one of those up, it takes 2 people, but one person can take it down alone. So I helped her put that tent up, and plus I have my saw, so I collected a sled full of kindling because Tack had her sled. Yeah, you don't have to use those poke sleds in winter. You can use it in summer to pull stuff around. And so we used it to haul wood. Yeah, it's harder for me to sleep on the ground because of my arthritis and my back issues, but as long as I have enough of a cushion underneath me, at least with the minimum of my climate pad, I'm okay with it. Although my big air mattress that I took, that thing was a fail. I could not get that thing to pump up. So there's a leak somewhere. So instead of bringing that home, it just got tossed in the dumpster with the rest of our trash. Because we do have, when we camp down there, we can use the family dumpster. I took another drink of this mint tea. I like it. So that's where that went. And so I will replace it because I do want to have another one like that. But hopefully one that will... I had only used it maybe 3 times. And the rest of the time it had been stored. But I don't have the space to just leave certain things unrolled or unfolded, like what would be recommended for sleeping bags. I just don't have the space to do that. I don't have a place where I can just hang them. Pat Miller here. Didn't see you sneak in through the cat door. At one time when I was looking to buy a better quality tent than that Wish one that finally failed in September, the zipper of the screen, when I zipped it up before I went to pack the tent up, the zipper pull literally slid off right into my hand. And so there would be no way of opening that up without literally cutting it. Plus, that tent had poor ventilation, and I had to make a repair on it once because it got a cut in the fabric from a sharp tree branch. So I'd patched that up, but that thing had poor ventilation, and so the condensation in there was just nuts. But anyway, this tent that I got from one of my sisters is a Eureka brand. And it's much better designed. Except that it came with some really chintzy stakes, so I will use my longer ones that I always use. They're I call them the 7 stakes. Or there might be like a crook stake, but mine are about this long, where these other ones maybe about that long. So I would not use those for anything that I expect to have to, be put up in wind. Actually, I have a military style poncho. I don't have a poncho liner or a wubby. But I do have a military style poncho in my bug out bag. But I do have 3 sleeping bags. My old Coleman 40-degree bag, which I've used since high school. Yes, that thing is still holding its own. And then I have like a minus 40, I think, but Tack gave that to me because I took another one that I bought that's maybe like, you could call it like a 60-degree bag because it's super thin, but it packs up really small, so I wanted to try that the first time I camped in my hammock. But it got pretty chilly and it was windy. But Tack had this this minus 40 sleeping bag, but the zipper on it broke. So you can't zip it up, but I could still use it like a top quilt. And that thing is a beast. It's a synthetic fill instead of a down, so it does not pack up all that small. But between the 3 of those sleeping bags plus my blankets, I should be pretty good as far as trying to stay warm in here. In fact, I took one of my wool blankets to camp last month. I didn't need it, but what I did was I put it underneath my camp pillow. And where I laid in the tent, the ground wasn't exactly flat level. So the way I was positioned, I used that wool blanket folded up as an extra pillow, and that worked. Yeah, I've camped at sites where there was a power hookup, but we didn't need it. And I had my little mini power station. So I used it to charge up my my phone, and if I would have needed to charge up my headlamp or one of my rechargeable flashlights, I would have done that. Oh, speaking of James, Corporal's Corner, his video he put out today shows him using 2 bags that look like body bags, and they could be used as such in an overnight camp. Well, a recliner and a TV, that might be a bit much. I mean, I don't even have that here. Why would I want that when I'm camping? I would rather be just out in the woods where I can hear the wildlife. Oops, sorry about that. Got briefly disconnected. As I was saying, I would rather be just out in nature where I can see the wildlife or hear them. I never saw any, but I heard them. Well, that would be awesome, Robert. You can either oh yeah, oh, that would be a bushcrafter's playground. I would love to have access to an area where I can actually practice, try to build a debris shelter, or maybe using a tarp as part of the shelter build. I have not had a chance to do that because I just can't go out on my own to some place unless I have a driver, because there's no place in the city where I could legally get away with it and not have to worry about getting caught. Well, actually, Aletha and I do have something planned, but I'm going to keep that one on the down low for right now. But I know for sure my next trip will be in March, and that will be the last time I camp before Ramadan starts in mid-April. I wouldn't mind going down to my brother's place. He has a couple acres of the Ouachita National Forest, or right next to the Ouachita National Forest in Arkansas. It's about 25 or 30 miles from a town called Jesseville. And you probably go another 50 miles to Hot Springs. But the parcel that he bought had no access road, so he had to get access rights from a neighboring property owner so that my brother could get on and off his property without trespassing, because otherwise he wouldn't be able to enter or leave his own property without taking the long way around and cutting through the back end out of the national forest. Thanks for dropping in, Johnny. Catch you on the flip side. But that landowner was actually okay with having that access road put in because it also gives him improved access to his own land. So my brother and this other guy both benefit from having that access road put in, since they both use it. But my brother has seen a lot of deers and turkeys, and I don't know what else is there. I'm sure there's pheasant. There's probably, you can probably spot ducks and geese. And probably, and of course, rabbits and squirrels. He can probably pop those anytime he wants. And after my dad died in '08, my mom gave my dad's boat to my brother. So he uses it. He's not all that far from Lake Ouachita. So it's just a short drive to the lake. So he can go out and fish when he wants, or just go drive the boat around just for the heck of it. Not, if he just wants to do that and not fish, But for internet access, he had to have his internet satellite dish put up on a pole in order to get past some of the trees. Because no company will run any cables out his way. So he does not have a landline, and he has to go into Jessieville in order for his cell phone to work. But I have been to his property only twice, but I really do like it down there. Well, and Pat, what you're probably doing is just, you're probably just selectively cutting trees that need to be taken out in order to improve the health of the other trees and rest of the forest. Plus, you get firewood. Yeah, but if for some reason we had to bug out and leave Iowa, I would probably suggest to my family that we all go down to my brother's place. I have a 5-person tent that I bought to replace another tent that failed, which is one of those pop-up tents. But the zipper on that one failed, but I had a sheet. I was not done camping at that place yet. but I had a bed sheet because it was so warm. I didn't get in my sleeping bag. I just laid on it as a cushion, like, just as a mattress topper, so to speak. And I pinned that sheet up to cover my tent door opening. And then that pretty much worked. It allowed me to have privacy. But the only thing I kept from that tent was the cordage that came with it, and the stakes, and the fly. So I kept that tent fly because it's a pretty good size piece of material. I could use that as a ground sheet. It's about that big. Or about that long anyway. So I bought a 5-person tent because I wanted one that I could stand up in. But it takes 2 people to set up because, I'm kind of short. I can't reach the top to tie that little string that you tie up at the top of some tents to keep the poles together where they cross over. To pull the tent up so it doesn't sag up at the top. I can't reach that high in order to tie that. So a taller person came over and tied it for me. And then when it was time to break camp, that person untied it, and then I just did the rest. So I do have that tent, and now I have my Eureka tent. So no one else in my family really likes to or wants to do any tent camping anymore. And I seriously doubt they would want to try a hammock. Plus, where we go in the summer, they don't allow hammocks in the cabin area. Yeah, I bought an Equip hammock that was sold at Walmart, but it did not come with an integrated bug net, so I was watching the Survival on Purpose channel, and he showed this envelope bug net that you hang on your hammock's ridge line, and then you put the ends of the hammock, you put the hammock suspension through it, the ends, and it zips up in the middle. So you're basically encased in the net. Of course, you cinch it up at the ends around your hammock suspension, and that keeps the bugs out. In fact, Rebro 491, she has one. And so the last time we camped where she had her hammock, she had that, but she put that on backwards. So the side that she gets out of her hammock, the zipper of her bug net was actually on the opposite side. She's looking for the zipper, and I walk around to the back, what would be the back side of her hammock, and I said, the zipper's on this side. But she decided left it. But the bug net, if it's if it's a good quality one, it could even help retain some heat. Maybe not a whole lot, not like a solid hammock sock or having your tarp down low. But it kept any bugs at bay. But hers is green, mine is black. But she has that envelope bug net, so I got one of those. And I have an underquilt that packs down as much as a lightweight, sleeping bag that might, well, it would be a little bit, maybe about 1.5 times the size of this bag if it's fully loaded. So that underquilt, even though it's kind of thin, it definitely does help keep your heat in. Plus, I use my climate sleeping pad in the hammock underneath my sleeping bag. That's okay, Pete. I'm probably going to go ahead and call this good anyway because I've already been out in here over 2 hours. And I haven't even gotten to these candies yet, but I'll probably just suck on these as I'm cleaning up. Again, this is the coffee. You can buy coffee candies on Amazon, and I have tried a couple of them, but the coffee, I can't get that one online. And of course, these are vitamin C candies. And these are always pretty good. But yeah, I do like these. But anyway, yeah, I'll suck on these later. And I'll just eat the rest of this for lunch tomorrow since I got the lid. And who knows, maybe I'll wash this tin out and I could make a candle out of it. Oh, there you go. I guess I made the Swede hungry for his breakfast. But I do want to thank you all for watching. And now that I'm fully loaded on rations, I'm going to have to think about what I'm going to pull out next Sunday. But once I make that decision, I'll go ahead and post it on my community page as well as the Ration group I'm in on Facebook. So once I make up my mind, I'll post that up. And it might be one of the ones that I got from Aletha from 2012. So some of those menus I'm very interested in checking out. But anyway, thank you all for watching, and catch you on the flip side.